Noisy Pixel.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to another Noisy News Week for the week of September 26th, 2020. Here's where I fill you in on some notable news posted to noisypixel.net this past week. As you can see, I'm back. Thank you so much for accepting Mark into your life. I know it was hard with that Nice America comment, but we've all been there. And if we can pass that, then we'll probably hit something else that he said wrong. But it doesn't really matter because I'm back. And it was nice to have a week off. I had throat surgery from a paralyzed vocal cord that I received from being a rock star several years ago. And it just deteriorated from there. But thankfully, health insurance has allowed me to get a surgery and improve myself. And now you can hear my voice. And people can stop saying that I sound like a lesbian in the comments because I know. You don't have to tell me every single video that I sound like a lesbian because I live with it. Moving on to the news. Holy crap. Microsoft announced that they have acquired ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda Softworks and all of that other nerdy stuff that people seem to really love. I think the only games that I've actually liked from this studio for the past several years is from id Software with their Doom series. But I mean, everything else, you got Machine Games, I guess, but Skyrim isn't that fun. I'm just going to be the one to say it. Lightning Games announced that they will publish the Rocket Dash Games developed 2D action platformer Hardcore Mecha on Nintendo Switch to be released on October 15th. Pre-orders for a physical release will come, but I think that's only available in Asia for right now, and it's going to be opened up for the West soon. NIS America announced that they will publish the Nipponichi Software developed third-person action shooter Poison Control on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in early 2021. I have no idea what this game is. It looks very closely resembling, what was that one game, Caligula Effect, where you can run around but like that style, not the remove the battle system, but put the exploration where you kind of see people in, and it's kind of dated. It looks a lot like that. It looks a little dated. It looks very indie, JRPG, but it's a third-person shooter, and it deals a lot with poison, and the characters are cute, so count me in. Circle Entertainment and Fly High Works announced that the Radeon Japan-developed strategy RPG Mercenaries Blaze Dawn of Twin Dragons will launch globally on Nintendo Switch this winter. Now, let me tell you something about the Mercenary series. All these people were sleeping on it, and then Noisy Pixel comes over here, reviews it, and then everyone's like, oh, it's so good. Well, I'll tell you where it all started. Started from my review, playing that game for 20 freaking hours, and being one of the few to review it on a global scale. But I digress. P-Cubed announced that they will publish the Twin Hearts developed cat action adventure RPG Kitaria Fables on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC in 2021. This is a cute game. It's 3D adventure, and you kind of go on these quests, and you're a cute little cat. What more do you need? Bandai Namco released a new patch for their action RPG Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris. Available now on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. The patch is 1.09, and it improves a load of stuff in the game that everyone was crying about. Let me tell you something about, if you play this game through the story, I swear it is one of the best Sword Art Online games that I've played. I think the online multiplayer is where people were like really holding on to hope, but I played it as a single player experience, and I got exactly what I wanted out of it. And there are some frame rate issues, but the issue with frame rates nowadays is that most of the time developers just improve them weeks later, and it's like I try really hard to review the game that came out, but with this it was like how much did the frames hurt my experience? Not so much. I'm really bad at seeing frame rates, guys. I can tell if they're like really bad, but that game, not so much. I love the battle system. I loved the characters, and I thought it was a great game. I stand by my score, is what I'm trying to say, which I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I still would give it an 8 out of 10. Let Let me make sure I gave it an 8 out of 10. 1 second. I did. Game Tomo released a new gameplay trailer for Sumori that's in develop for Nintendo Switch and PC. With no release date provided, I just think this game is cute. You have 1 day to do all this stuff and save the world, and you get to choose what you do within that day. It has that doll-like effect that everyone's been doing, and I was trying to figure out the first time that I saw this character creation illustration thing that people seem to love doing nowadays, and it was Fallout Shelter. When Fallout Shelter came out and those stupid little characters walking around the shelter, cool, it's a mobile game. But then like Neptunia RPG started doing it, and all of these like normal trying to be big budget games like started putting out these like doll like, I don't know. Tell me if you like them. I'm getting a little tired. I think it's easy to develop. I'm getting a little tired of seeing it, but I kind of like seeing it in this game, so maybe I'm not as tired of it as I thought. Atlas has launched the Vanillaware developed strategy RPG 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim on PlayStation 4 in the West. And why are we talking about this game? Well, it's just a flex because we made it into the launch trailer, and that's really cool. Yeah, that's all. Modus announced that the Daryl Arts Games developed horror adventure Remothered Broken Porcelain will launch on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC on October 13th. This is a week before their previous release date on October 20th. They just backed it up a little bit so that players can experience it, because I think a lot of horror games are coming around that time and they don't want to be congested. Studio HG released a new trailer for their action roguelike Metallic Child, coming to PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC in spring 2021. And I've been following this game for a while, and I'm just astounded by it. I really love everything this game is showing, and I'm glad that it is coming together for these developers. It looks great. Be sure to watch the trailer. NIS America announced that the Yummy Yummy Tummy developed RPG Fallen Legion Revenants will launch on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on February 16th in North America. They released a new trailer, and yes, this game has that doll-like effect to it, I believe. Team 17 announced that the Next Studios roguelike dungeon crawler Crown Trick will launch on Nintendo Switch and PC on October 16th, and I am so excited for this game. I loved playing the preview, I loved seeing it at events, and I'm just really glad that it's coming out. It's gone through a lot of betas and open early access, whatever, and yeah, it's just really cool to see these developers release something. I think they're based out of China, so good on them. I'm excited for the release. All In Games announced that the first-person cyberpunk parkour action game Ghost Runner will launch on Nintendo Switch on October 29th. This is 2 days after the release on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. That's coming out on October 27th. So yeah, I mean, it's coming to Switch. Not graphically as good, but I mean, the game looks cool. I mean, if you could just take this little stupid parkour game and slash things on the go, why not? Nicholas announced that the Team Ore developed 2D action platformer Dungaree will launch on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on October 27th. I'm not sure if we can talk about this publisher after all that stuff that happened, but I mean, the game looks good, so forget about the publisher. Let's take a look at the game, and it looks like a cool game. HappyNet announced that they will publish the Metrics software developed tactical RPG Brigadine, The Legend of Runesaria, on PlayStation 4 on December 6th. The game was previously released on Switch, and it's coming to a bunch of other stuff now. There's a update coming, actually, that increases the post-game offerings and allows people who put a lot of hours into the game more to do. That was the main complaint, is that after you beat the game several times, it's like, well, what do you have to do? Because it just plays out the same once you do it. You're supposed to play the campaign several times. Whatever. An update's coming. Near Replicant version 1.22474487139 ellipsis got a new trailer at Tokyo Game Show 2020, along with revealing the White Snow Edition, up for pre-order for like $160 or something. Yes, I pre-ordered it, and yes, I'll probably regret it next March when they charge me that much money, and I don't know where I'll be at in March, so hey, let's just roll the dice on that one. Regardless, the trailer looks great. I'm really excited for this game. On to visual novel news, which Mark didn't do last week, but to his credit, there wasn't very much visual novel news. over that time period. So, I mean, give them a break, guys. Give them a break. Pencil has launched the Primula-developed fairy tale visual novel Daisho X Alice Episode 2 on PC via Steam. This version has Kaguya and Gretel, and yes, these are the male versions because this is an otome and it's a romance. And I'm glad that this studio is doing it because that other studio that tried to do this series and effed it up completely, because the first rendition of this localization from that other studio was very bad. So it's cool that we're getting all the episodes in the West. They haven't really been announcing it. They just kind of released it and pushed it out. So we will probably review it sooner or later. Sakai Project announced that the Mr. Tired developed dungeon crawler visual novel RPG Undead Darlings No Cure for Love will launch on Nintendo Switch and PC on September 28th. And this game has been in development, I think my first E3, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I had a meeting. It was a meeting in a cafe with the PR guy, and they were talking about this game and launching it. This game has been around in development for as long as I've been in the game industry, from my first big event, which was E3 2014. It's pretty crazy that it is now finally releasing. And I mean, congrats to the developer. I think they went through like 2 Kickstarters that failed. And it's the guy he used to work at NIS America. He was a very profound localization editor named Nick, who worked on the Hyperdimension Neptunia series when it first came out, and he was one of the big players on getting that series to the West. And now he's making games, so I'm glad to see his titles released finally. Labor of love, right? Kind of like Noisy Pixel. So we support it. Be sure to look out for our review. Idea Factory International announced that Azure Lane Crosswave, which I'll say is a visual novel because you're reading for like 3 hours and then you play for like 10 minutes. So yes, it's a visual novel. Will launch on Nintendo Switch in 2021. And what will it have? Guys, boys, sit down. Better photo mode. And let me tell you, when I got in the photo mode of the PS4, I was like, are they going to let Azure Lane get away with this? Because some of these characters, hot damn. And I tried to flip the camera kind of low. Nothing. I got nothing. It like stopped halfway and was like, nope. But this one in the Switch, free reign, boys. Free reign. And I'm just hoping that, yeah, it's so strange to be like referring to Nintendo products like this or Nintendo titles like this. If you would have told me this 4 years ago, I'd be like, nope, never Nintendo. But hey, there's a physical release coming to the website, so you can pre-order it there. I'll probably get it because I kind of like the Switch cartridges. They just preserve better, I feel, than on a DVD. Well, the Blu-ray mostly just has an unlock code on it now, where they put some of the game on it, but most of it is just code that makes your PlayStation or Xbox download the rest of the game. So I feel like if game preservation is a thing, then you're gonna need the cartridges, the full game on the cartridge, to play it years from now if everything goes to hell, which it might. CFK announced that the Neko Works developed romance visual novel Nekopara Volume 4 is coming to PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch this December. Hey, more cat girls on your Switch and your PS4. They'll probably take out a lot of those CGs, and which is fine because you can get them on the PC version. But hey, cat girls on the go, count me in. D3 Publisher announced that they will publish the intense-developed escape room visual novel adventure Abyss of the Sacrifice on Nintendo Switch on December 17th in Japan. It'll have English support on this game, and yeah, this game came out on PSP in like 2012, I believe, and never came west, and this version will have better art, and it'll have like features, new functions to help you get through some of the puzzles, but it is a very challenging game. And I'm excited to finally be able to play it. It'll come out later on PC as well, and I'm hoping that this will come digitally on eShop in the West, but if it's coming to Japan, I might just import it for that physical release. Frontwing has launched the third entry in the Local Love series, Local Love My Pure Priestess, on PC. It's not on Steam. Nope. It's on Just USA and Faku. Players can jump in and play as the third heroine, which is this little priestess girl, and maybe hang out with the other girls for a little bit too. We will have a review up soon. Alice and Dissonance released a new trailer for the next chapter of their Fault Milestone visual novel series, Fault Milestone 2, Side Below. It is coming to PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC in spring 2021. Has a nice little trailer showing you some of the game, and I'm very excited that this game is finally coming out, 6 years later after the other one? It looks very intense. Interviews on the site, we have Catalyst Black. Reviews on the site, we have Kingdom of Heroes, Tactics War, Spiritfarer, Sense, a cyberpunk ghost story, In Most, Crisis Remastered, Higurashi When They Cry series, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Wanyan a la mode, Serious Sam 4, and Lost Embers on Switch. And guys, that's it. That's the news. Thank you so much. It was a long episode because I talked a lot and I haven't been able to talk in a while. And thank you so much for watching and sticking around, and let me know in the comments what you're up to.